Currently, a 203-page FBI dossier has been declassified, which contains documents about the search for Hitler in the south of South America, primarily in Argentina. At that time, American intelligence was not engaged in Central and South America. The area where they worked was an area of FBI activity. As for other Western countries, the question of Hitler's fate remained open. On May 20, 1945, Stalin already knew for sure that the Fuhrer was dead. The teeth of the burned corpse were identified by X-rays found in the office of his personal dentist. The story of these searches was told in 1965 by Elena Revskaya, who also worked as a translator. When in 2002 I asked my colleague Leonid Velikov to meet with Elena Revskaya, and she confirmed that the error was excluded. That is why Stalin needed to hide the data about these operations from the Allies. And even more, he claimed that Hitler was alive and it was the Allied people who should look for him. He later told President Truman's special envoy Harry Hopkins, "Maybe Hitler is in Japan." According to Soviet intelligence, the Germans had 3 large submarines and made voyages between Japan and Germany. They were transporting valuable cargo from Japan to Germany. Lev Bezimensky, Operation Myth, chapter from the book. During the meeting of the Big Three in Potsdam, Stalin and Truman suggested that Hitler could be hidden either in Spain or Argentina. Not only the Allies, but also many others were looking for Hitler. Based on this dossier, it can be concluded that in Los Angeles in the period from September 21, 1945 to October 1, 1945, there was an FBI department that collected information about the residents of the city. Because of the black ink, names were written in it, but I was able to restore them from another document without blurring. According to the chief of the department, actor Robert Dillion told the Los Angeles Examiner reporter C.D. Hughes that he met an Argentine named Gaetano in a Hollywood restaurant. As he said, it was one of 4 people on the Atlantic coast of Argentina about 2.5 weeks after the fall of Berlin. He met Hitler and his entourage at San Mathias Bay on the Valdez Peninsula. This happened about 2.5 weeks ago. Gaetano has data that at 11 o'clock in the evening a submarine with a group of men approached the peninsula, having received a signal from the shore. Within 2 hours, a second submarine surfaced, on which Hitler, his doctor, and several men arrived. There were about 50 of them, including those who came from other regions. Riding horses were prepared for them. At midnight, the group set off towards the mountain ranges of the southern Andes, and then to the ranch where Hitler is now hiding. After the defeat of Germany in 1944, the U.S. Secret Service suggested how Hitler could change his appearance if he had to hide after the defeat of Germany. After the end of World War II in April 1945, images depicting Soviet soldiers who participated in the liberation of America were hung throughout the American occupation zone. Gaetano received $15,000 for his work, but chose to flee to the United States. He can be granted asylum on condition that he provides the names of 6 high-ranking officials of Argentina and indicates a person to bring FBI agents to the ranch. He also said that Hitler suffered from asthma and ulcers. He was shaved. The FBI tried to find Gaetano in the police files of Los Angeles and Hollywood, but there were no such or similar people. The report on the search results in the documents of the Immigration and Citizenship Service was negative. Despite this, the investigation was not resumed, and the case was closed. And this is just the beginning. FBI Director Edgar Hoover helped his supporters in the hunt for Hitler. They sent him clippings from South American newspapers, recognized Hitler in group photos, passed on rumors that Hitler or Eva Braun had met here and there. One American met the Fuhrer nose to nose during a dinner in Washington. A volunteer assistant informed the FBI about the absence of Hitler's fingerprints. He pointed out the book of the famous palmist Joseph Ranaldo, How to Recognize People by Their Hands, published in 1938. This book has an image of a hand that the author called Hitler's hand and analyzed it. However, the origin of this image is unclear. There were several serious leads. In early November 1945, Hoover sent a letter to the U.S. Embassy about Ida Eichhorn, an Argentine socialite and owner of the El Eden Hotel in the Argentine resort town of La Falda. It happened on November 13, 1945. Based on the OSS data, Ida Eichhorn was known as an active supporter of Hitler and his personal friend, and recently allegedly said that the Fuhrer would always be able to find his refuge in her hotel. Cozy, beautiful and expensive Hotel El Eden is one of the attractions of the city of La Falda, Spain. It was the resting place of 4 presidents of Argentina, the Duke of Wales, Albert Einstein, and Arturo Toscanini. It became the cultural center of German society. Since 1942, people have gathered in this place to listen to the Fuhrer's speeches on the radio. A special mast was built on which the antennas were installed. Her husband Walter Eichhorn was one of the founders of the NSDAP in 1933. For the faithful service rendered by the Fuhrer, the Eichhorns received from him a Mercedes-Benz car, which was delivered to Argentina by sea. The Argentine authorities confiscated the hotel in March 1945, when Argentina declared war on Germany. Ida couldn't hide Hitler in this hotel even if she wanted to. According to one version, Hitler lived in a Bavarian-style house in the Argentine city of Villa La Angostura near the border with Chile on the shores of Lake Noel Napi. In 1954, he and Eva Braun allegedly gave birth to a daughter, Ursula, but then their family moved to Neuquén in the north of Patagonia, and the Fuhrer died in the spring of 1962. The following is a story from the Los Angeles branch about how the body of a man who died of a heart attack was found in Los Angeles. There are a lot of blemishes in this document. But there is reason to believe that the FBI source is a Frenchman from the resistance who ended up in Brazil in 1947, not far from the city of Rio Grande, not far from the Uruguayan border. There is a small town of casino and there is a grand hotel for guests of evening shows. For one such performance, a lot of people gathered, mostly Germans. After the lights went out in the dining room, 11 more men entered the hall and took seats at a long table in front of the stage. After a witness with a camera appeared on the scene, they were spotted. Among them was a former German officer named Weissmann, who worked in the propaganda department of the French embassy. The second was Adolf Hitler, and the third Eva Braun. A picture showing both smeared with ink. The FBI search was unsuccessful, as they were not interested in it. Currently, there are many versions explaining the reasons for Hitler's flight to Argentina. The famous Israeli documentary filmmaker Noam Shalev made a film about this film in 2017, as well as about his possible refuge in La Falda.